bad nationalism.
Me lo guardaré en el
Nationalism does
bolsillo por
nothing but
ahora,
teach you
junto a las otras bolas.
hate people that you never met. All of a sudden you take pride in accomplishments you had no part in whatsoever. Fuck the French. Fuck the French. We had to save their ass in 2 world wars. They'd be speaking German right now. You go, oh, was that us? That was us. Was that me and you, Tommy? You saved the French? Amazing. I know I blacked out a little bit after that fourth shot of Jägermeister last night, but I don't remember. I know we went through the Wendy's drive-thru. We're going to get one of these fresh Santa sandwiches. They look so alluring on the commercial, but then we ordered it and realized we had no money. And we had to sit down before the second window. Big bags of mine. You had us with the bass music while we got our order. And we laughed about that, but I don't remember saving the French. I went through the last 10 calls on my cell phone.
Debe ser la hora del duelo, porque estoy a punto de matar a estos gusanos bien rápido.
The muscle on a project. I checked my pants. There's no blood stains on the knees from where we were garroting Krauts in the trenches, and we're done. I think we didn't do anything but watch sports bloopers while we got hammered. I think we should shut the fuck up. All that stuff. Tradition and heritage and dead people's baggage. Quit carrying it. You make it up now. Pass on to me. Pass on. Every immigration argument that you hear, they never come from a, like, well, how does it affect you personally? Well, you know, these immigrants, they come to our country, they burden our tax system. What they do is they come here and they get into our education system and our health care, and I'm going to pay the tax. My taxes have to pay that. Well, what the fuck are you doing to me? Every time you have a kid, because it's American, I just pull the days round and wave a flag while 15 of those things come out of you. Hey, everyone, oh, I can't wait to pay for these. They're American. I have a vasectomy and an abortion on my record, but I can't wait for all your crime. And in this Midwestern kids, I get a second job.
Hay cosas que mejoran con la
Well,
edad.
these
La
immigrants
soda reanimadora
they
no.
don't speak the language. Then don't talk to them. That's all you're wrong with us, quick. You know who speaks the language perfectly? Your next door neighbor. You've lived there 8.5 years. You've never said one fucking word to that guy. You avert eye contact should you check the mail at the same time. So why would you give a shit what the guy selling Ganifganums in a cart in a park speaks? None of your fucking business. And all the cliched arguments like that, where they're lazy, they're shiftless, they're criminals, and all this, they all those go against the main cliched argument of they're taking American jobs. And we live on the next to the border. We live 7 miles off the Mexican border. Bisbee, Arizona, a little town. I can go out any day and watch Border Patrol arresting these guys by the dozen, 11 at a time, out of a Dodge Omni, like a clown car with plastic cups. And you're right, they don't speak the language, and they probably have no education. They don't have shoes half the time. They're like barefoot, tattered castaway, like Gilligan's Island shorts, and like a dirty t-shirt that's dehydrated, water in a desert for 4 days. And if that guy is as qualified for your job as you are, you're a fucking loser, humiliating pedestrian. A shame to have anyone find out that guy took my job. He doesn't speak English. What, did they do your job training in pantomime?
¡Vamos, gusanos! ¡Hoy llevo el doble de ganas!
Sí, boy. You're out of here. Go ahead. bitches about immigrants taking their
No
job. If
pienso
that
ser
person
el
has
mordedor de
skills of any
nadie.
level, brain surgeons sitting around the Beverly Hills hotel lounge. Don't really chance my ass, Barry. Steve and Adrian fellas are coming over taking all our good neurosurgery positions. Before we could specifically send the down of ourselves to follow to stop us. Yeah, the first
¡Munición máxima!
¿Quién tiene ganas de balas frescas?
Fucking immigrants. All started with that Einstein. Once they brought him over from Germany and we didn't have any good genius jobs, it was a trickle-down effect.
Pónganse en la cola, bichos. La diversión llega desde mi cañón.
Jobs. Hey. Here. Here, go. They're taking your jobs. The terrorists are trying to blow up your Ford Focus specifically. It needs to fucking... Where's my TRL? I touched the doorknob. There's a new Uber. I'm silver responsible for and so and sanitizing generation and I can't get I try to qualify. I use faggot to the belief, but I use it as a word of weakness. No sexuality for the Lord. If you're gay and you're in here and you're offended, I'll be at the door on the way out. I'll suck your dick just to show.
Tiene mucho cerebro. Lástima que sepa mierda.
That's the way you can comment. I'll just pinch you with 2 fingers. But just to show that I mean no disrespect, because it's too strong of a word to let go. Hey everyone, Jimmy B here with Sun Sea Sports. Today we're going to take a look at pickleball paddles from Colt. First, we'll take a look at the performance paddle. This is a great paddle for those looking to up their game without breaking it. Coming in at just under $80, this full line of paddles packs with features, which makes it perfect paddle for any price. Fourth, paddle is made from a responsive Provolane honeycomb, giving you a good balance of power and control. The surface is made of FlexTech carbon fiber
Iría
graphite
bien un
foam,
dulce para
providing
variar las
durability.
raciones básicas.
The grip is 5 inches, giving you comfortable, secure hold. The paddle thickness of 14 millimeters is great performance. With the stand-up features, performance with cool graphics that you can choose. Whether you prefer a bold, colorful design or a more subtle classic look, there's a performance paddle. Find it, Sun Sea Sports. You know, I got a little sore on my lip right there to match the one that broke out of my dick from this stress. Yeah, well, you know what? I was a player, not a fucking spectator in this life, buddy. You look at Hercules like a skateboarder looks at a skin knee. And he's like, ain't that what you fucking do? I ain't that into you anymore. I'm an old man and don't give a shit. Okay, let's move on.
Cuchillito. Genial.
I was trying to segue into kid fucking, but segue is fine. Let's just jump right in, shall we?
Bueno,
Internet predators.
una munición.
Yeah. Oh, they're very popular all over the television. They fucking Catch a Predator, MySpace, you know, fucking. Like, I don't know, because I was a kid at one point. I don't remember, but there's pictures. But, I remember we didn't have the internet, but to avoid predators, our parents would go, hey, son, don't talk to strangers. Some of them might try to fuck you. And you go, oh, nice. And you just went about your day. And does that not work for the internet now? You don't have to parent anymore. Oh, the internet. Like, there's some crazy way of getting around the don't talk to strangers. And you're in here.
Acabaré con todos ustedes, bichos no muertos.
I'm twisting the bag. I'm wrong. But this is the truth. then probably it's huge probability.
Voy a
When I say
machacar.
probability,
Pues oye, si quieres hacerme el
Vegas
trabajo,
odds,
adelante.
probability, probably. Nobody wants to fuck your kid. I know you don't want to hear it. You want to think that child is still ultra fuckable.
El arma
That
está
all
seca,
the
necesito
pedophiles out
munición.
there, they're jockeying for position right now down at the seesaw. Wait for him to come out of first period. Wait for it.
Ah, esto me provoca temblores.
If you wanted your kid to get fucked, just to prove to your neighbors in your gated community that your kid's hotter than their kid, and you send your kid out as bait, and you put him in a Catholic schoolgirl skirt with no underpants, and you made him hop on a cocoa stick to school. So his little pink, fleshy ankle flowing so temptingly towards traffic, you would still probably graduate school and have never been proved. And then what an asshole you'd look like trying to brag around a gated community at the next cocktail mixer. Just by the grace of God, it was. Five Metro Big
Enviarlos de nuevo a sus tumbas.
I would prefer that pedophiles be on the internet. There's no more pedophiles in the world. They act like the internet is creating pedophiles, whether or not. If I were, if you exist anyway, stay on the internet. Stay jacking off in your basement in South Carolina. As opposed to the old-fashioned way when they actually went down to the schoolyard, they didn't let it surround the
Se
playground.
vayan al infierno.
Smarties on a fishing line kind of flying little shooter in the dogs phone, you know. He's being on the internet. Just don't fucking kid. Just don't fucking kid. That's what I'm talking about. But that's not the Attorney General. He says his number one focus is to stop the kids fucking. But he doesn't. He wants to go after the internet. He's not going after the guy with the kid in the camera. This way they use that fear mongering. You get more government control in your life, more legislation, more. Oh no, I don't want to have to be responsible for my own kid. You take care of the district government. And if I get tired of it, I'll just vote for the other party. And that'll make a difference. Stop it up. Child pornography, rampant on the internet. Have you seen it? Attorney General, we need to stop this. Child pornography is rampant on the internet. We need more government involvement because I've never seen child pornography on the internet, but I've seen every other type of deviant, grotesque, sometimes stimulating, always clever, every other type of pornography that two eyeballs can absorb the fruitless cocaine, 3-year-old ganked up on blow, and you're just beating off till the band plays, because hookers don't answer that phone at this hour.
Está bien, bebé, sé que me necesitas. Ahora, en serio, gracias. Ya me daba todo. Oh, sí, es temporada de caza.
Everywhere, and that shit looks hot. Click on that, it goes anyway. Just keep seeing shit. It's never when it's advertised. 18-year-old amateur hot co-ed. Bondage, enema porn, stuff like it. You can ski porn. You can see what Lego copper, fucking lady mama. Fucker. They don't sound like shit. They look shit.
Esto va a terminar muy mal para ustedes.
It's funny to say, but it's out there. It's like the comic relief porn I look at after I just jacked off with something hugely uncomfortable. And I go, oh, let's go look at Lincoln. Oh, someone's into this. Gay porn. But it's all out there.
Ah, sí.
All this
No
shit. Never
tengo
saw someone
munición.
fucking kid. See, 3 old queers. Go to my website.
¡Tráiganle sus armas!
Famous friends on the tsunami
Cuando
of
encuentre a
news.
tu amo, le voy a patear el trasero.
Disturbing pictures, the fun that ended up. 3 old queers and 3 old guys in their 70s. They look like any kind of, you know,
No es esta
best
mano,
way
pero
to
preferiría una
describe
cerveza
it,
de
I'll make
botella.
it that's something
Voy a seguir masticándolo hasta que pierda el
more
sabor.
disturbing than even
Unos
the
10
gloves that
segundos.
obviously there's so many
¡Traga plomo, travieso!
Top finger. I've seen it several times randomly surfing porn. Digit in the male urethra. Objects in the male urethra. Seen top finger. I've seen it several times. Yet I still never managed to see
Hay
someone
que empezar a
puppet
repartir
something.
munición. ¡Comprar munición!
If child pornography is rampant on the internet, top fingering is probably
Que venga
occurring
ahora por
in this
mí.
room as we speak. I have no children. If I have children, once people have kids, they get all fucking they have that genetic defect that makes them
Genial.
want to
Fuera
protect
con
what
ellos
makes
por
other
ahora.
people like the government do to boys. I don't have a child. Maybe I can do it differently, but it was
¡Ah, sí!
I've
¡Todavía
had an
están
abortion.
cayendo pedazos!
My
Esto
wife
sabe
at
horrible.
55 years old, I'm going to say, still a great decision. Every Roe v. Wade, abortion around gonna fucking
¡Uno de los pedazos de carne!
in the trailer park and put her behind a podium and pat her back so she gets attention. And you're going, I had an abortion because I was in the right side. We don't agree on much, my wife and I, but we agree on anniversary. Glad you fucking killed the man. Glad you let it. So glad. No guilt, no regret. A lot of regrets about how handled the relationships, but no, the baby never brought up. Just saying, in case you ever come to that point, oh, we heard it someone. Yeah, don't hear that side of the story. I got this anti-abortion
Recarga gratis.
flyer that
Oh,
was,
sí.
they were sticking them under everyone's windshield wiper in the parking lot of this place in Texas. And it had a picture of a dead fetus
Esto
on the
sabe
front.
mucho mejor que
You
ese
know how
chicle de
the
cromo de
little white
béisbol.
folk are so fond of the dead fetus photo. They get a picture of an aborted fetus and they run home and they blow it up large on a placard and they bring it down to their protest rally and they shove it in your face at 9:30 in the morning. I'm just going to the ATM. I'm not going in this place. I'm just they do that. The idea is that picture is supposed to be so disturbing, so disgusting. It will.
I couldn't believe how much mucus
Hay
came
algo
out
muy
of my
especial
lungs the
en
first
hacer
time I
volar
tried
las
this.
cosas por los aires.
You've probably been told that once you get older, or if you smoke for years, your lungs
Voy
will
a
never be
acabar
the
con
same.
todos y cada uno
That
de
you just have to
ustedes.
live with
¡Qué
constant
mogólico, chabón!
thick mucus and phlegm stuck in your
¿Qué
throat.
son?
The
Cállate,
weeds.
viejo pelotudo.
View of the abortion issue. And as those lives
Cuidado, ¿no?
you look at. Living monsters actually you're ripping out of you. Covered in blood and mucus and sputum flying everywhere. And they're fucking
Mierda, me mordió. No me estaré convirtiendo en un maldito zombie, no.
your husband's vomiting through a surgical thing. While trying to maintain a comforting eye contact.
Oh shit!
Big open stick metal hole. She'll wipe her off, frame it, put it over the piano. It's a little sweetheart of this little peaceful, freeze-dried aborted fella laying time on a comfy pillow next to a ruler. He's disgusting. Oh, Shane Beaver. Like I said, I've had an abortion. I've been party to an abortion. So, and we don't know what became of it. We had an abortion. We just shuffled out the front door. We didn't tag its ear or keep in touch, track it on a GPS system. We didn't have a pen pal. No, we fucking left. So if I see a picture of an aborted fetus, there's a part of you that's got to wonder a little bit.
¡Abre esta puerta ya! ¡No lo hagas! ¡Samantha, no te alejes!
Stevie, really might need all that. I think he's got my scalp.
No tiene
Have
gracia.
you had an abortion?
Gira. Despacio.
It really makes the whole idea, the whole concept of heaven a lot more disconcerting. If you've had an abortion, as irrational or illogical as that idea is, it's depressing to think about. If there were a heaven and that you fought through the white light and got
Un
up
desafortunado giro de los acontecimientos. La muerte del alemán es lamentable. Me temo que el camino que hay por delante sea más traicionero que antes.
I took you down, didn't you? Looks like you had a lot of fun down there. Dude, they took pictures of me! They took pictures of me! What did you guys do a video for Christ's sake?
La destrucción asola a los impuros. Todo este tiempo he temido el disgusto del emperador. No sé dónde está, pero sigo siendo leal.
So I get the
Esto
flyer.
nunca debo
Got the
olvidarlo.
dead fetus on the front. On the back of the thing, it's got the whole pro-life propaganda screen. At the bottom, the guy who prints these things for a living, for fun or profit, or whatever his motivation is, he puts his name and phone number at the bottom in case you want to order more. I'm drunk with a phone. And the guy answers his phone.
La fuerza de mis antepasados fluye por mis venas.
And I want to fuck with it, but I want to be original. You don't want to just be drunk and trying to throw logic at this problem. You're going to waste cell phone. It's like water uphill. You ain't going to win. So what I did is I came around and I attacked him from
Mis
the more
sueños
conservative
se ven
angle.
acosados por
Where
espíritus.
here,
Temo que no sean los de mis antepasados.
not that they're on this planet. That's not a choice, that's a child. And for you to distribute photographs of naked children, you're attracting the most deviant type of child predator on this planet. Right now, preterm necrophiliac child molesters are masturbating like 10 to 8 minute images without everyone.
Aprovecho una vez más.
You knew what you were doing. You could have photoshopped a bikini onto that little thing. You could have
Carne no será consumida.
but you chose not to. This is how you get your rocks off, and I hope you burn it. So I can close someone and say, fuck the Yankees. I want to tell them. You have your Yankees. The Yankees for several reasons. You want to know 4 of them? Fuck the Yankees. A,
El dulce me dará fuerzas. Lo sé. Una vez más, el sol rojo prevalece. Debo buscar munición.
Was.
Sangre teñirá el cielo de rojo.
That's like going to a casino and you for the house.
Sin munición, más diversión.
Oh, you look busted your ass, bitch, huh? Fucking deal. It sounds like you're
La venganza con fuego rápido será mía.
The tendency that you have to go outside and smoke cigarettes. I believe in the band that slams back and food that tells you how to eat in this city, how to live your life, what you can do on your own property. They just ban fucking, they're trying to ban fucking iPods and
Sushi
phones.
líquido.
Think Supreme Court in this state, 10 days ago, uphold a ban on dancing in nightclubs. Everybody knows this? Nightclubs. Not fucking Utah, not supposed to. It's New York City. Fucking standing out like fucking bitches smoking outside. They'll tell you what you can put your food where you can eat there. The dance way along and get money. They'll tell you how to move it. Motherfucker. Before you advertise how tough you are, you might want to go into the bathroom and do some of Bloomberg's cock smell out of your asshole. Because it seems to me that you are just little bitches to City Hall. And that's why I say fuck the Yankees too. Because the Yankees, what you were all rallying around and getting pumped up and
Parece que
bad
necesito
about,
más
when you should have been
recursos.
down at City Hall 60,000 a year, getting fucking amped up. Next time someone even mentions a smoking ban, there should have been 60,000 you bricks fucking booing and throwing batteries at the guy who's contested it. You disrespectful motherfucker. There you go. Still an applause.
Before you trust these more staged photos, make sure to check the reviews on TripAdvisor to know if it actually lives up to the photos. Looking at real travel.
Could you imagine a world where the top 1%, the elites of our society, the ruling class, the ones who run the government and are pulling the strings behind everything, are secretly involved in some of the most depraved things that you could ever possibly imagine? I'm getting a feeling of deja vu. I feel like I've heard this story before, but nowadays that might not be that hard to believe. But back in 2016, this was something that was unfathomable for most people. How's it going, everyone? Welcome or welcome back. My name is Chase, and today we are talking about Pizzagate. So Pizzagate started gaining traction during the election cycle on places like Seoul, Fortune, political board. It wasn't hard to emotionally dismiss the whole thing as more than a crazy alt-right conspiracy. So I think it's worth revisiting the theory in modern times, especially in light of recent events. Let me state first and foremost that I have no political bias here, and all I care about is the evidence that has been presented. My goal is not to convince you that the theory is real, nor is it to disprove it. All I'm here to do is present to you the theory as a whole and all the supporting evidence, and then you can come to your own conclusion. I'll also note here that I've spent over a month going down this rabbit hole, and every mainstream source is so quick to say that it's debunked and there's no proof behind it at all, but I haven't seen a single one of them actually debunk any of the evidence. But you should obviously take their word for it, because they probably have hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars even, and I'm just a little child in my room sitting on my computer, so I'm sure they just hiding that information that I don't think no one else does for some reason. Your discretion, of course. We're going to be talking about some dark shit here, so if you don't want to watch that, this is not the video for you. That all said, I hate to say it, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get right into it. Pizzagate sparked in 2016 when WikiLeaks published over 20,000 emails from the inbox of John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman during her presidential run. Immediately after these leaks were published, people online began scanning these emails line by line, finding many strange references and jokes that sparked suspicion that there was something more going on here. Before we go over some of these emails, it's important to note here that while the interpretations of the coded language within the email is unsubstantiated, the emails themselves are completely legitimate. The Podesta emails were reviewed and confirmed to be authentic by multiple U.S. intelligence agencies, including the CIA, FBI, and the NSA, which is the National Security Agency. So while the interpretations of these emails can be debated, nobody is disputing the authenticity of the emails themselves. Of course, I can't talk about all 10,000 emails here, and most of them are mundane and irrelevant to what we're here to talk about today. But here are a few of the most notable ones that helped fuel the initial theory. One of the first emails that really caught people's attention was sent by Stephen Sandler, the philanthropist and political donor who did donate to Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign run, to John Podesta. The email reads, "Hi John, we may have found a handkerchief. I think it has a map that seems pizza related. Is it your ruse? They can send it if you want. I know you're busy, so feel free not to respond if it's not yours or you don't want it. I just came from checking the field house, and I have a square-cloth handkerchief, white with black, that was left on the kitchen island. You will send it to your mail if you let me know where I should send it." It's not hard to see why this would catch people off guard. What is a map that seems pizza-related on a handkerchief? What the fuck does that even mean? Well, coincidentally, the handkerchief code is a color-coded system that people use to communicate their interest and pleasure non-verbally. Different colors relate to different acts or things that people are into, and I will not allow them to follow. If it's that important to you, you can look that up on your own time. These people are like old dreamers, so maybe they just communicate differently and have some dementia going on. But again, what is a pizza-related map? What even is that? Another email that caught people's attention was sent to John Podesta by Herbert Sandler, who was at the time a co-CEO of Golden Wealth Financial Corporation, a major political donor to the Clinton campaign. Now Herbert Sandler is turning in half. I'm joking. Rest in peace, Herbert Sandler. I'm sure he did nothing wrong at all. Mary and John, I think you should give notice when changing strategies which have been long exposed. I immediately realized something is different by the shape of the box, and I contemplated who would be sending me something in the square-shaped box. Lo and behold, instead of pasta and wonderful sauces, it was a lovely, tempting assortment of cheeses. Yummy. I'm awaiting the return of my children and grandchildren from their holiday travels so that we can demolish them. Thank you so much. I hope you and your family will have them. I wish you both best wishes, good, a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Yes. Do you think I do better playing dominoes on cheese than pasta? The thing that stood out as weird to people is that it was bland. It's just worded in such a strange way. People don't typically refer to eating something as people online began theorizing that cheese and pasta and these terms used for food were actually code words for something else. That's something else we must do. And it's quite the leap in logic to note, but it's not the only example of strange references to food in these emails. As this email comes from Tony Podesta, John Podesta's brother, would love to get a pizza for an hour. Like again, what does that mean? If we're just talking about lunch, that is not a normal way to say that. Imagine your friend gets a hold of you and they say, "Hey dude, you want to go get a pizza for about an hour?" Like, what? What does that mean? This one is in a long chain of emails, so I'll spare you from me reading the entire thing. But the part that stood out to people here was Bonnie will be Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve Lozano, 11, 9, and almost 7. So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure. Excuse me? What? That obviously sounds really bad. And unfortunately, there's no context that makes it sound any better. And it just gets weird because there's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down with this point. Reportedly, Lozano ran a website on it, which was like a blog. It's hard to confirm because as soon as people started talking about this, it was removed almost immediately. But if this blog is real, it looks really bad. The website apparently featured many pictures of Lozano and young children, including her step-granddaughter. The header of the website reads, "Everyone is growing up. Soon she will be the queen of the entire US of A. Right now, for a limited time only, you can spend some time with her online. Raw and uncut. Take advantage of this now as in the future she will have the power of life and death over you. First of all, why are people spending time online with your granddaughter at all? And then raw and uncut, that is just a really weird way to describe that. Whoever was running this website categorized these posts with labels so you can find exactly what you're looking for easily. Posts were labeled under categories such as psychopath, evil white bitch, filth, malpractice, discomfort, manipulation, and ambient.
Una bebida hecha al gusto de los gaijin.
So Ina never cancels unless she is really sick.
Definitely. No, I just
And you just know it, and it builds this trust. And we live in this slate culture where people have really, I think it's a terrible thing to do. It really erodes friendship. One way to make people feel like they matter is to commit to them. So they can trust you. They can trust that when they make a plan, you will be there.
the most lovely thing you can do to say to somebody who's matter is say, come to dinner. And
Ambien, for those who don't know, is a prescription drug that is classified as a hypnotic and is used to treat insomnia short term. One of the side effects of Ambien is that it wipes the memory, and people have no recollection of anything else that occurred or what they did after dosing. Why would that be a category on this blog that she apparently uses to post pictures of her children and grandchildren? That's really anyone's best guess. Another picture on this blog shows a baby after bath time, and while not inherently sinister, it's definitely a little bit weird even though you can't see anything. But the caption here is what really stands out. It ends with, "Unrated version of this photo available only to premium subscribers." At the absolute best, if this website is real, which again I can't confirm, this is an incredibly weird and tasteless website. This is something that I feel uncomfortable even saying right now. The last email we'll cover for right now is sent by Maria Abramovich to Tony Podesta and later forwarded to his brother, John Podesta. Google describes Abramovich as a conceptual performance artist who has pushed the boundaries of performance art as a visual art form since the 1970s. Personally, I would just say that she's a freak, but anything is art, right? Dear Tony, I am so looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place. Do you think you will be able to let me know if your brother is joining? All my love, Marina Abramovich. I think I called her Maria a second ago, but anyways, it seems innocent enough at first glance. But what is spirit cooking? I mean, probably just some unconventional or traditional way of cooking, if I had to guess. But it actually turns out that's not what it is at all. You see, spirit cooking is an art form, a horrible ritual invented by Abramovich, inspired by the idea that ghosts feed off of intangible things like light, sound, and emotion. For this reason, her recipes involve things like evocative instructions for actions and thoughts, and bodily fluids. A few excerpts from her cookbook are as follows. With a sharp knife, cut deeply into your middle finger of your left in the middle for as long as it is necessary for your face to disappear. A moment ago, I referred to spirit cooking as an art project or an occult ritual, and I wasn't being facetious. This is how Abramovich herself used her work. In an AMA on Reddit, Marina says herself that the context is what makes something art or not. Quote, "Everything depends on which context you are doing what you're doing. If magic in the context of art or in a gallery, then it is art. If you're doing it in a different context, in a spiritual circle or a private house or on TV shows, it is not art. The intention, the context that it is made."
¿Qué? Ah,
Sin munición.
tengo que equilibrar la...
Empieza la lucha real.
Tengo que cambiar la respiración, sí. Sí.
And where it is made defines what art is or not. So in her own words, they are doing an occult ritual. If you're curious to see this spirit cooking, you can find a video online of Abramovich giving artistic performances herself as demonstration. The video shows Abramovich writing phrases from a paper, big blood, and then dousing the statue of a small child in it. Now, of course, there's no way to say for sure if John Podesta attended this spirit cooking event or not. But coincidentally, in photographs from around that time, John Podesta can be seen with a band-aid on his left hand's middle finger. And people online have also mentioned that his hands, and particularly his fingers, are often scarred as if they've been deeply wounded repeatedly. Front-runners. Clearly, these are really bad actors, and they've already reached a point where the absolute best-case scenario is that these people are involved in the authority, whether it's real or private. People who are powerful, ruling class members of society are being invited to, in private, perform ceremonies and worship old-world gods like Mala and Baal, but more on that in a second. This is where James Alphonsus and his world-famous pizza come in, and it only gets weirder. So who is James Alphonsus? Well, he's an entrepreneur who owns Comet Ping Pong, a pizza restaurant located in Washington, D.C., and also a location that is frequently mentioned in the Destination. He's also one of the most powerful and influential people in the nation that you've never heard of. Despite being nothing more than a restaurant owner, GQ listed him as one of the 50 most powerful people in Washington in an article published in 2012. GQ writes, liberal 20-somethings in khakis drink beer and eat pizza at Alphonsus' own Comet Ping Pong. More established progressives wine and dine next door at Alphonsus' own Bucks Fishing Camping. Alphonsus is also the board president of Transformer, the contemporary art gallery that shamed the Smithsonian for removing its installation offensive to right-wingers. When it comes to Alphonsus is unsurpassed. You don't know him? You aren't wearing your scarf right. So basically, this restaurant owner is the pretentious king of the woke. And if you're left-wing and you don't know who James Alphonsus is, you must not be wearing your scarf right. Get out of my pizza shop, you peasant. When it comes to radical chic in D.C., I am undefeated. Anyways, if this guy is one of the 50 most powerful people in our nation's capital, he must make some pretty good pizza or have connections somewhere else, right? Well, James Alphonsus is a gay man who's involved in a relationship with David Brock, who is chief of Media Matters, a major media organization tied to the Democratic Party that really left in 2022. David Brock also founded Correct for the Record, a super PAC created in 2016 to support the Clinton campaign. At a surface level, this doesn't seem that weird, and it does help explain some of the political power and influence that James Alphonsus has. But then people found his Instagram account, at Jimmy Comet, and as you can probably guess, it only gets weirder. Let's start with this picture that he had up on his Instagram showing a young child being held in a man's arms. Nothing wrong with that, but the caption of this picture is #ChickenLovers. Chicken lover is well-known coded language that was used in the 1994 documentary film Chicken Hawk, on homosexual relationships with a large age gap. An age gap so large that it makes the relationship itself criminal. There's also this image that appears to be of a walk-in cooler being referred to as the cool room in the comments. Alphonsus captioned this picture, "Oh yeah, this looks fun," and then went into the comments under his own post and wrote #murder. Unlike with everything else here, this is really only slowly scratching the surface. There are countless weird pictures and
Parents, if your child plays Roblox, listen up. You could qualify for up to $300,000 or more in compensation. If your child was sent sexual images or material, estimated compensation is between $25,000 and $50,000. If your child was coerced to share explicit content and is now in treatment, estimated compensation is between $50,000 and $300,000. For cases involving physical abuse or attempted assault by someone they met on the game, estimated compensation is between $300,000 and $1 million or more. You can file a claim anonymous.
This picture of a young child with zeros in his mouth, and Jimmy Comet writes, #Harris James loves spending euros. There's this picture of a baby doll holding a sign that says, German baby, $1,200, please do not touch. Jimmy Comet writes, way overpriced. There's this picture of a young child with their hands taped to a ping pong table. And in the comments again, someone else writes, #Harris James. Harris James seems to be a recurring thing referenced in the comments captions and comments, and really anyone's best guess what that could be. But coincidentally, there is a small Caribbean island or island named Little St. James. That Caribbean island named Little St. James happened to be owned by a very famous financier who was from New York. I'm sure you've seen that guy's name in the news recently. And of course, this was news before anyone knew what was happening at that island. That wouldn't come until 2019. Then people realized that Jimmy Comet's profile picture on Instagram wasn't just him. statue was the statue of Antinous. Antinous was a Greek peasant who got involved in a relationship with Roman Emperor Hadrian who was in his late 30s. He is specifically known as the Greek boy wonder. Now, this wasn't seen as anything bad in the ancient world societal norms, but of course we look at that a lot with them today. And this easily could have just been a coincidence, but in the bigger picture and everything else being considered, it's not hard to see why it would raise some questions. And that's really what this entire theory is based off of. How many coincidences are you willing to overlook in order to believe the official narrative that there's nothing else going on here? Even if you think this is just a bunch of conspiracy nonsense, it's not hard to see why so many people buy into it, because in order to believe there's nothing else going on, you have to chalk so many things up to coincidence that was overlooked. The cryptic emails, the occult rituals being mentioned in the emails, the profile picture, the pictures posted on the Instagram. And there's also the elephant in the room of why is this man who is attracted to other men, so he has no kids of his own, spending so much time around so many different young children? Putting aside his views and context and actions of these histories, who even are these children? It's clearly I'm not the only one wondering that, because even Smith knows how strange his Instagram was, how James Alphonsus did not have any children, neither do his closest associates. And they also note how it was credited only 2 days after it was found, so clearly he knew how bad this all was. And they even said in his own article that he was false and it's all nonsense and sexual at all. So even they can't just overlook this. They have to address the elephant in the room and be like, yeah, this guy's Instagram page is really fucking weird, and we actually have no clue who these kids are. And again, that's overlooking all the other stuff. Even if we knew how these kids were connected to James Alphonsus, the pictures would still be really weird. The context of them, the captions, and on top of all of that, this is a guy with a boyfriend, so the kids clearly aren't his, and his closest associates and his friends don't have any children. While none of this is hard evidence of anything criminal happening, it really does make you wonder what's really going on here, and that's a genuine question. I would love for somebody to explain to me how this is all very innocent in nature and nothing is going on, and I'm open to that explanation, I just haven't heard it. All of this just looks very weird, and it seems like the farther down this rabbit hole you go, you're left with more questions than answers. All I'm saying is that when you connect all the dots together, it really doesn't look good. It does make you wonder if there's more going on here than what we know. Speaking of connecting the dots, James Alphonsus has this picture of Marina Abramovich posted to his Instagram. So at the very least, you get the answer words, which I will show you.
¡Puta!
Personally met a Marina Abramovich fan. Most people don't even know who the hell that is. James Alphonsus also has connections to Tony Podesta, John Podesta's brother, who they are pictured together in what seems to be some sort of campaign or fundraiser taking place at Comet. Doesn't really matter, but there they are. Okay, but that's
No lo puedo creer.
doesn't really prove that they know each other, right? And then here's another picture from the event that is much more candid and was posted to Jimmy Comet. He is literally brushing elbows with Tony Podesta in front of a cake. And side note, this guy is absolutely cheesy, whether they know each other well or not. Clearly, Alphonsus is very happy to be there next to Tony Podesta.
No.
And this just raises even more questions as
No lo puedo creer.